This is Worldwide Flava Network. Coast to coast and worldwide.
The views, information, or opinions expressed on the broadcast of Worldwide Flava Network are solely those of the individuals involved and does not represent those of Worldwide Flava Network and Live365.com. Worldwide Flava Network is not responsible and does not verify for accuracy of the information contained on any live or recorded broadcast available for listening on the site.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Shell, also known as Color Beauty. Join me on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on WWFN Online Radio. When 2 minutes is not enough, we go into overtime. See you then.
This show is being sponsored by Worldwide Flava Network. If you are looking to have your own radio show, come and join us here on WWFN Online Radio. Contact us via our website, www.worldwideflavanetwork.com.
Good evening and welcome to Positions on Sports Talk Show, host on the Worldwide Flava Network, featuring Big Reg
and J3
and friends. Tune in every Tuesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. on the Worldwide Flava Network, WWFN Online Radio. Good evening, and welcome to the Position on Sports Talk Show, hosts on the Worldwide Flava Network, bringing you a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We'll provide our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports without hidden agendas or deference to any organizational team. My name is Big Reg. I'm joined this evening by my partners in crime and brothers. J3, how you feeling this evening?
Feel outstanding. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
And of course, we got our brother, Big Al. How you doing, Big Al?
Doing well, thank you.
Cool. Before we go any further, I'd like to say a special thank you and appreciation to all the men and women out there who have served our great nation in the military.
Oh,
I'd like to say we appreciate your time, effort, and your service, and of course, your sacrifice by you and your family. Hope you had a great Veterans Day yesterday, and at least for one day a year, you got the respect, acknowledgement, and love that you deserve all 365 days a year. So again, happy Veterans Day to all y'all out there. We appreciate you, and thank you for making our nation what it is today. This week, we're going to talk about NFL Week 10, college football Week 11, do an NBA weekly update, got to hit our high school football report, and other topics that caught our attention, and of course, our final post of the evening. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Post on WWFN Online Radio. So now there are none.
zero.
Yeah, 0.
What a game.
The undefeated Miami Dolphins got to pop champagne one more year. It's only a few of them left, but you know they popped them corks last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what a great game.
Yes, it was.
What a great game. The NFC West showed out. The Seattle Seahawks and dangerous Mr. Russell Wilson beat the now 8-1 49ers in a tough overtime fight, 27-24. That was a big game. What you think about it, Al?
Yeah, it was a great game. As expected, rivalry, division game. They always play hard.
Yeah,
all the time.
We're going to talk about another one of those division rivalry games that you never can tell what's going to happen in the future.
Mm-hmm. But my take from that game, just to keep it short, Jadeveon Clowney.
Woo, what a pickup.
He did everything last night. They couldn't stop him. They could not stop him. He was a one-man wrecking crew on the defensive side of the ball. And he was just in his back. He was in Garoppolo's lap the whole game.
Yeah. Seemed like he knew he was on Monday night prime time.
Yeah.
And that his contract is up and he signed that they could not franchise him next year, so he gonna be a free agent. He made some dollars yesterday.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Great transition. Great transition.
Yeah, so I mean, the game was dominated by both teams' defenses.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that some of that was the 49ers, one of the youngest teams in the NFL, finally feeling that pressure of we're the 100 team, we're the team everybody's expecting to do well. And now everybody's watching, even the fellow NFL players.
Yes.
And I think that kind of got to them a little bit. So I think in the rematch, I think it's going to be a lot different. I still think it's going to be a close game, but I think both teams will play better and you won't get that many. I mean, both teams had multiple fumbles. You had interceptions. I mean,
Yeah, it was quite a few, injuries that happened during the game.
yeah.
But the most important part, like you said, was both defenses showed up.
Showed out.
There was no dominant team on the offense who just ran down the field. No, you earned every 10 yards that you were able to acquire during your 4-down set.
No doubt.
Yeah, but Garoppolo, he's definitely going to have to step up because Seattle put the blueprint out there how to defend them. They literally went man to man. They put 8-9 in the box. Garoppolo's going to have to throw the ball.
And he wasn't accurate at all.
No. But again, like I said,
his security blanket wasn't there, though.
Yeah.
Kittle not being there
Yeah.
at the tight end spot, I think hurt Garoppolo
Yeah.
because that's
it did.
one of his main targets.
But did you notice how many times they threw the ball in the slot?
Oh, yeah, because that's the hardest thing to defend.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so great game. But to me, the game of the weekend, and it wasn't a close game, but them Baltimore Ravens,
Yeah.
oh my
We said
goodness.
we
Ravens
said
are showing
week
up.
in and week out. We said week in and week out. They are definitely the team to watch, and they haven't proven us wrong yet.
No, they haven't. They are definitely a team in the AFC. They have everything set to take it all the way.
What Lamar Jackson did yesterday, being one of the only people to have 2 perfect passer ratings in the same season,
Mhm.
and he still got 7 games left
Yeah.
to break the record.
Mhm.
And then what he did on his feet, I mean, that spin move where he had 3 defenders running to each other, that should be outlawed.
Yeah.
That ain't even right.
It looked like a
Yeah,
mad game.
it was a
didn't
Madden game move there.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can't do that to, NFL players and put that on film.
People don't realize literally how fast this man is. And the things he does. He's so light on his feet, so agile. He's a blur. And I mean, we talk about Vic during this day, but he done took it to a whole nother level.
Oh, no doubt. Someone said it best. I think it was one of the Fox Sports 1 NFL analysts. He's Michael Vick with a work ethic,
Yes.
and that's
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah.
15
That's
for 17 with 223 yards. 3
More-
touchdowns.
More touchdowns than incompletions,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
That's amazing.
and then breaking ankles on top of that.
Mhm.
I mean, I took a peek at the stats. I think he's on pace to rush for somewhere close to 1,200 yards
That's correct.
at the QB
Mm-hmm.
and throw for over 3,000.
Well, the acquisition of picking him up and Ingram, you think about it. When they did that one particular play, they had 3 Heisman trophies.
Right.
The
That
Heisman
was cool.
package. Yeah, that was
in the
cute.
backfield.
That was
I
cute.
love that.
Hey, RG3, we're going to give you a little run. Come on out here so we can put something on film for later on during the year. That's
Yes.
crazy.
IG3 got 12 yards on the carry.
I mean, that's crazy because they can put that package in, do the same thing, and then have one of the receivers go deep, and RG3 can throw the ball.
Imagine that. I mean,
I mean, that's
Yeah.
scary.
they can
Yeah.
run the pixel every down if they really wanted
Mhm.
to.
Yeah,
I mean, because they have so many options.
it is great to see teams that are committed to their process and utilizing the tools that best accentuate the players they have on their rosters. And the teams that are doing that the best are playing the best and leading their divisions.
That's right.
So hats off, Baltimore.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
And man, Lamar, woo, you can get a shoe contract and some more stuff, young fella.
Just keep your head right, bro. Keep your head right.
Yeah. In the game that, puzzled me the most, and I'm going to bounce around real quick. What happened to New Orleans? Who saw Atlanta not just beaten, because again, that's a division game. They dominated New Orleans.
Yeah, they did. They punched them in the mouth.
That hasn't happened all year.
No, it hasn't. But you know what? Atlanta, I mean, look, the season's over. Everyone is literally playing to keep a contract for next year.
But it's not like Atlanta doesn't have players that actually can produce. It's just that they haven't gelled all year.
That's true,
and they
too.
just surprised the Saints.
Right.
I mean, it just happened.
But their run game is terrible. Devontae Freeman hasn't done anything all year. That's really where it starts on the offense side of the ball.
Mhm.
And
But
that's
the,
how I see it.
the defense of Atlanta is shutting down New Orleans. They haven't played defense all year.
I know.
Well,
And then they're going to take one of the most potent offenses in the NFL and shut them down. I mean, that
One
just
of them
blew
weeks.
my mind.
It's one of them weeks, Fred.
like
That
they
just
say,
blew
any
my
given
mind.
Sunday,
Any
bro,
given Sunday.
anybody can win the game.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Jets won.
Speaking of the Jets,
Oh, man.
I've been saying poor Jets all year. Poor Giants. You can't even win the Battle of Gotham against the Jets. Come on now.
Yeah.
And that boy, what they call him, Danny Dimes, actually had a good day. He had 4 touchdowns, no
Yeah.
interceptions, and you still can't beat the Jets.
Still lost.
So I think the Jets would prefer losing right now based on what's going on, but hey, they're doing what they're doing. We had the Packers. Packers had their little bounce back, came with tough win up against the Panthers. So, I mean, Aaron was just average in that game. He didn't do anything big. But the running game,
Run games continues to do their thing.
Kyle Allen, 28 for 43, 307 yards, 1 touchdown.
yeah, I mean, is Carolina going to start rethinking the Cam thing? Because the Kyle Allen, bloom is kind of, falling off the.
I think a lot of that's
Pedal a
going to
little
come
bit.
down to money, though. I mean, he has 1 year left on his contract?
1 year left. The only thing, none of it's guaranteed, but
Okay.
it's only $20 million. Only $20 million. But for a starting quarterback these days, $20 million for 1 year. But if they release him, they only have $2 million in dead money. So basically, they can walk away from $18 million. Kyle Allen ain't making $1 million.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what would you do? Would you keep him or would you let him go? Because you got to think about it. He's not that old, so he still has play left in him.
You know where I think he's going to end up at?
So you think he's gonna roll
I think they're going to let him go.
and go where? To Cleveland?
Chicago.
Chicago
Chicago.
seems like a
Perfect fit for
interesting-
him.
Yeah.
Perfect fit because Trubisky's done. This is 5th year.
Yeah,
It's that's over.
not a bad idea.
Cam's problem is he's got a brand new owner. So the owner who drafted him, who had everything invested in him to make him successful, had to sell a team because of some, indiscretionary moments he had in the office. So the new owner has no loyalty to Cam at all. And when you pay billions of dollars for a team, sooner or later you're gonna want to do it your way, bring your people in,
I understand.
bring your coach in.
But
So
he was the franchise face of that team.
yeah, but the new owner says for the time I've had you, you lost 8 games in a row.
I understand.
You know how you always say,
Game
hey, you
one.
gotta make the work happen.
That's right. That's right.
How about them Cowboys?
You mean the cowgirl?
What is the coaching staff of Dallas doing?
Nothing.
Jason Garrett
Spectate.
coached scared at the end of that game.
Yeah.
Do you really call him a coach though? Even though he has that position?
He making $6 million a year.
Yeah, but
He done had
is
the
he
title.
actually doing the job though? That's the question.
You know he's the 3rd or 4th most tenured coach in the NFL right now.
Okay, but again, you didn't answer my question. Is he doing the job?
He got the title. He got the check.
Well, obviously he ain't doing something right because they can't close.
And then he had the nerve to put it on the offensive coordinator. He made the play calls to give to Zeke those 2 runs.
Oh, they were
Stop.
shutting him down.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
Shut
Got credit
Zeke
to
down.
Minnesota though. They shut Zeke down.
Yes,
They
did.
shut him down.
Yeah, they said we're gonna make Dak beat us, and guess what Dak was doing? Dak was beating him
He was beating him.
until his coach took the ball out of his hand and said, "We're gonna make this running back that we put on this fictitious $90 million contract look like the hero of the team." Cowboys are Dak's team, and once they realize it, and A, pay that man what he deserves, B, let Zeke know, hey, you second fiddle in this, maybe third fiddle, because offensive line's probably second fiddle. Dak, the offensive line, then Zeke. Then they might be able to go somewhere and fire the coach, of course.
You sound like a head coach. Obviously, they don't have a real one down there.
So, and I mean, to be scared of Kirk Cousins, that Kirk Cousins is going to show up in the fourth quarter, that you were scared to give him the ball back with a minute left. When has Kirk Cousins ever done anything that really mattered with the game on the line?
Hey, look, he put up 23 for 32, 220 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That was
That's
enough to win.
That's typical Kirk Cousins,
Right.
man.
Dalvin Cook controlled that game and the Minnesota Vikings defense. Kirk did enough to not be in the way.
Right.
And Kirk always makes it so it's not his fault,
Right.
but he don't win games.
Well, I mean, did they win?
They won.
7-3.
Again, Jason Garrett and the coaching staff lost that game.
Okay.
That's on them.
We hear you. We hear you.
Mm.
Another surprise.
The Browns.
The Browns. The Bills been playing good defense all year, scoring enough points to win, and then you're gonna lose to the Browns.
But you know what? I mean, let's think about this. The Bills are not a surprise team. They know how to lose games. This is a pattern.
Know how to
They've been
lose
doing-
games.
they've been doing this
I mean,
for years.
coming to the game, they were 6-2. So so they're doing some good things, but they're still a young team.
True.
And Cleveland, they're in desperation mode now,
Right.
trying to find some kind of way to get a wild card. They got a long way to go, but I mean, they put something together. But what was disturbing was the goal line plays.
Yeah,
They couldn't 7 times
yeah,
for 1 yard.
yeah.
However, Chubb did his thing.
Oh,
20 rushes for 116 yards.
he should have had 2 touchdowns though.
Yeah. I mean, their offensive play calling is also very suspect.
They're terrible.
That's another team that doesn't have a real head coach.
Right.
But I mean, the Bills game that one. That should have been a game. They could have put one of the final nails in the Browns' coffin and made that team go into total chaos mode at 2-7. Allowed them to keep a little bit of hope alive.
Mhm.
And now everybody's going to question what the Bills are. They real or are they not?
You know, I mean, they still got a couple more games to go, so we'll see what happens.
Another surprise. The Titans
Not,
beating Kansas City.
not surprised.
Patrick Mahomes comes back after missing 3 weeks, puts on a show,
I know.
and you
36
still
for
lose.
50 with 446 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Just
How
look
do
at
you
the
lose
stats
that game?
alone without
Defense.
even knowing
Plain and
what
simple.
the outcome was. You would say, yeah, they won the game.
Defense.
But again,
Defense.
Kansas City cannot stop the run.
Yep.
And as long as they don't take care of that situation, it's going to be a long season. You can't keep putting that pressure on Mahomes to have to keep throwing 350, 400-yard games to have an opportunity just to win a game.
But when Mahomes didn't play, the defense showed up and actually played well. It's like, oh, we got Pat back,
But like
so we ain't
Al
got to
said,
do anything
they
this
couldn't
week.
stop the run. Look at Derrick Henry.
Hey,
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry ain't no
188.
ordinary back,
I
though.
know that. But
Derrick
I'm just
Henry,
telling
6'2",
He's a big boy.
Again,
240
you know
pounds,
who you
solid
gonna play
muscle.
before you get there.
Ooh,
Put 8 men in the box.
bro, I don't care if you got 8 men. Man, that man's a monster.
He is.
Yeah.
A
But
monster.
you gonna give up 188 yards every game?
You won't see Derrick Henry every game. There's only one of him in the NFL,
Yeah.
dog. I mean, he is ridiculous.
Hey, look,
He looks like a linebacker. When you put him with other running backs, you're like, who's that huge dude over there?
Yeah. He's a Mack truck, man, no doubt.
Yeah, so I mean, again, like I said, last Sunday was very, very interesting. A lot of upsets going on, but my coach of the year, Mr. Mike Tomlin,
Yes.
has his boys still
They
rolling.
still doing it.
They shut the Rams down.
Yes,
I think
they
the
did.
Rams are deflated. For some reason, they just can't get it back
Well,
together.
it didn't help.
They
They
started
didn't
up-
have Brandon Cooks. That was a big blow to them. I still don't think that would have mattered anyway. Pittsburgh's defense is for real.
Yeah, they
For
always
real.
They are for
That's
real.
that's nothing new. That's really nothing new. You expect that from the Steelers.
Well, there was a lot of uncertainty coming into the season because they were so young, and nobody really saw this coming. I mean, they playing ball, man. What's it,
We'll
4
see.
straight now?
One of the best
We'll see.
4 straight
Yeah.
wins. One of the best things that they did all year after Ben went down
Ben.
is make the trade to get Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
And everybody said, what are the Steelers doing? Giving away a first-round pick? All that boy has done is balled out.
Mhm.
They finally have replaced Mr. Long Hair, Mr. Troy Polamalu,
Mhm.
as that Roman safety that they
Right.
could put out there. He got out of Miami where they was having him play corner or play strong safety, which wasn't his suits. He's playing free safety, and he's all over the field. Scooped up a fumble, took it to the house. His second scored in a matter of 2 weeks. Also picked off the last play of the game. I mean, he solidified that defense and allowed Mike Tomlin to play the type of football he wants to play. We're going to be a physical, hard-nosed defense. We're going to shut down your run. You're going to have to throw against us. And if you make a mistake, you're going to pay for it.
So what you're saying is the coach actually puts players in the positions that they should be in to make them effective. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, if you got a good organization. If you got a good organization.
Okay.
Luckily, we don't have to talk about one organization because they was on bye last week. So
Thank
we're
the
going to
Lord.
move on.
Next.
Chucky getting things done.
Yes, he is. He got them boys playing.
But the Chargers, I keep telling y'all, they are not.
That's still a rivalry.
Yeah,
That's AFC
Mhm.
West rivalry
Yep.
game.
Yep.
And to make Phillip Rivers look like he didn't know what he was doing.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm surprised with the Raiders.
Okay.
I'm surprised. The
Okay.
Raiders are really, really doing
Yeah.
things. I think they're 2 years ahead of schedule. They were supposed to just start to look good next year
Right.
when they moved to Vegas and then really pick it up once they got in Vegas a year after that. They might make the playoffs this year.
They got a great
We'll see.
opportunity.
We'll
They
see.
do. They do.
We'll see.
And they have a very favorable schedule too,
Yeah.
coming down.
Yeah.
That always
So-
helps.
And we're one of the youngest rosters. He got them boys believing in what he's preaching, knock on wood, and doing his thing. You know, that's one of Chucky's things that he did when
Right.
that HBO special. Every time he did something, knock on wood. So hats off to the silver and black. They doing their things. Got them young boys playing well. Mitchell Trubisky actually got a win, but it was against the
I was
Lions
getting ready to say Detroit.
without their quarterback who's got a broken back. And he says he wants to play. How you gonna play with a broken back, man?
They gonna shoot him up.
You can't let a man on a field that's got fractured vertebrae in his back play in the
I
NFL.
think it just sounds good in his head. And he just wanted to say it. He really don't want to play with no broken back.
Isn't that very similar to what Tony Romo had?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then
Yeah.
he tried to come back, and then a year
He
later
got
he
hit.
was done.
Yeah, he was done. Yeah.
Well, maybe this is his way of going out.
I mean, that's a shame because the Lions, while they've had some tough losses, they've been playing solid ball, been in every game.
Mhm.
But I mean, without their quarterback, I mean, they done.
Yeah.
They're
not looking
done.
good.
And like I said, once you got a back, that's hard to deal with because you're gonna get hit in the blind side
Absolutely.
multiple times during the game, even if it's not a sack.
Yep.
So, and again, you talked earlier about coaches putting players in position to win. How about them Dolphins? Second win in a row. While the front office traded away all their top players, reduced the salary, said we're gonna rebuild. Brian Flores came down there and said, hey,
Brian Flores is for real.
I'm here to coach who I got, and I'm gonna make the best of what we're gonna do. And they've been in almost every game so far this year. and to win 2 in a row when they're trying to tank, hats off.
They playing
Yeah.
hard.
That's a true example of players stepping up and earning their paychecks. They want to win regardless of who's on the field. They're playing the position that they were put in to be effective to win a game.
Yeah,
You
I got a chance to see a lot of that game, and they were flying around
All game.
all game.
They want to be
They
there
was-
next year.
yeah.
They're gonna have to step up.
And the people who are worried about Flores' job, that man is coaching his behind off with. He's got a bunch of second, third, and fourth stringers playing on his first team and getting work.
But what are you paying them for? To play the game, right? That's what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
Okay, then why don't the other 31 teams, 30 teams, do
Because
that?
they get away with it because they don't have no real coaches and they ain't putting no foot in their butt to make them do their job. How about that?
I feel you. I mean, I'm happily surprised that Flores might be the first New England Patriot assistant to go off on his own in NFL and actually be successful his first time out. So hats off to the man.
Good job.
Bucks hold on, beat the Cardinals. It was an interesting game, but I wanted to shout out Kyler Murray. For y'all who haven't been watching, because it's Arizona, they don't get a lot of airtime. Kyler Murray's been balling.
Yeah.
After the first 3 games, once he figured out the speed of the NFL, he's been putting up numbers each and every week. And he has no offensive line. You see them little legs running around out there, running for his life. He's balling.
But
Yeah,
it
he's
just
balling.
goes to show one player can't beat 11 players, bro. He can't do it by himself. Defense got to step up.
Yeah, but that's a rebuilding franchise.
I
So you
understand.
get
I
your,
understand.
you get your
Right.
quarterback,
Right.
you put a line in front of him, and then you build the defense. In 2 to 3 years, they're gonna be a problem in the NFC.
Right.
We'll
And
see.
they had a lot of inconsistency in the running backs, but your running backs have gotten hurt. So but once they get that solidified, he's going to take it to another level.
Dave Johnson didn't do nothing.
Dave Johnson ain't been right since he was
Right, man.
since he was injured.
With that wrist, I know.
He ain't
He's
been
been the
right
same.
since, but he collecting a big check.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Right.
collecting that money.
So coming up this week, there's a couple of games out there that I got my eye out on. I'm interested in that Thursday night game, seed Steelers at the Browns. The Steelers can put the Browns out of their misery, continue their winning ways. Anything you looking forward to this week?
Oh, it's obviously Texans and the Ravens.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be a good game.
That's the one everybody wants to see.
That should be a real
The young gun quarterbacks.
Yes.
Deshaun against Lamar.
Mhm.
Wow, yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be a nice game. Patriots and Eagles should be interesting.
Depends on what Eagles team shows up because they up and down.
That's true, but the Patriots haven't been doing a whole lot on the offensive side. Now, the defense has been playing pretty well until they ran into Lamar. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams come out of that.
Yeah.
And then
Is Wentz? I mean, is he healthy? Is he still hurt or?
Nah,
what's
he's
wrong with
healthy.
him?
No, he's fine.
he's healthy.
Okay,
He's
so
fine.
then there won't be no excuse next week that he lost the game because he had an injury or he wasn't feeling good or he was just tired. I mean, talk to.
I hear you. And we'll see if Patrick Mahomes continues his torrid assault on the NFL record books and whether they'll be able to beat the Chargers. Okay, I've delayed it long enough. I gotta talk about
Yeah,
it.
we gotta talk about it. Let's. Hats off to LSU.
LSU
Oh, yeah.
did their
Hats off
thing.
to LSU.
Did that thing.
Joe Burrow walked into Tuscaloosa, put on a show in the first half. I think he completed his first 12 passes, put on a monster show. And of course, Alabama helped him along.
Yeah,
I mean,
turnovers.
Tua drives him straight down the field, first possession, and then as he's scrambling out, just drops the ball.
Yeah, turnovers.
Just rust, man. I mean, it was bound to happen. It was going to be a play or two that exemplified that, So,
Yeah, that was crazy. And then 2 possessions later, getting ready to get the ball back, muff a punt, lose that. So they put themselves behind the 8 ball, but I'm proud of Bama. They shored some things up in the second half, plays better defense, slowed LSU's offense down a little bit, started running the ball.
How about
Yeah.
that?
yes.
They forgot about that part.
took control of the game, and from that running to it, was able to get into a flow while his ankle got worse as the game went on, and he ended up putting on a show.
Yeah, he did. And with the ankle, they expected it was going to happen. The game plan was obviously just to keep coming after him and make him
keep him
move around.
moving, yeah.
Do you blame him? I mean,
Oh
why
no,
wouldn't
I
you?
would have did it too.
Yeah, because
You
he was
know.
rusty, like you said. But the defense got to step up.
Yeah.
But running the ball, giving it to Najee Harris. I mean, the man 19 for 146, 1 TD plus 3 for 44, receiving and another TD. All of that, most of that was in the second half. If they did that in the beginning, took some of the pressure off of Tua, he could have flowed into the game a little better.
I got one other comment about this game before we move on. And I talked about this guy a couple weeks ago. The running back for LSU, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I
He's a
love
monster.
him.
Monster.
This guy is going to go pro. He is so solid. And that stat line he had was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He carried them in that second half. I know that Joe, he made the plays that he needed to make. But this boy put on a show too.
19 for 146 with 1 touchdown.
No, he had. What did he have?
He had 103 yards rushing, 3 TDs, 77 yards receiving, and another TD.
Wow.
So he had 4 TDs, almost 180 yards total offense, and blocked well on a couple of those pass plays. Yeah. He's making himself into a first round pick because he's showing that he's all around back.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's doing this thing. He's doing this
I like
thing.
this game.
So my question to you guys, it's coming tonight. How far do y'all think Bama's going to fall from number 3 in this week's upcoming college football playoff ranking?
They're going to stay at 4.
Oh, you think they're only going to drop 1?
1.
Wow.
Because of how they came back in that game.
Yeah,
they didn't fold.
It was 46-41. It was the final, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And at halftime,
they was getting spanked.
Halftime was what, 33-13?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
so right there shows that they deserve to still be in the top 4. Clemson, you can't give it to Clemson. Who they playing? I mean, let's keep it real now.
But Clemson, I think Clemson's going to be number 3. I think your top 4 is going to be LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and I think they even may move Georgia ahead of Bama, because Georgia has more more big wins, SEC games. They beat Florida.
Okay.
They played LSU tough. But as long as Bama doesn't drop lower than 5th, they still got a shot to get in to the playoffs. As long as they handle their business the rest of the year. If they drop more than 5th, and like I said, we'll find out later this evening, then Bama might be out.
Okay.
Time will tell.
In the other game of the undefeateds, Minnesota put it on Penn State in the first half.
Yes,
Did
they
they?
did. Yes, they did.
Yeah, they went to work on them.
Mr. Flat Peck rowing the boat. Man, you got them boys playing crazy. I mean, I did not expect them to punch Penn State in the mouth like they did.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
They had to hold on
Yeah, they did.
to win the game. I mean, end up 31-26. But, I mean, they solidified themselves as not only an up-and-coming Big Ten team, they might be the second best, third, or at worst, third best program in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
Ohio State. They shouldn't have did that to Maryland. That wasn't nice.
73-14.
73-14.
That wasn't nice.
Nah.
I'm glad Maryland getting a big check because, man, these whippings, they taking. Come here. That should be outlawed. Al already talked about who's Clemson playing, so we're not even going to go into that.
Yes.
I mean, they're actually playing supposedly a ranked team, and that's Wake Forest next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
So come on now. I mean, they got a cakewalk into the college
that's
football
why I say
playoffs.
I can't see how they're going to slide up in there in the top 4. I can't see it.
They have the longest winning streak
That's true.
in the NCAA, defending champions. They played in the last 3 title games.
They ain't playing nobody.
That's not their fault.
I understand.
The other presidents and athletic directors of the ACC should be ashamed that they're allowing one team to beat them like that. Treat them like they Alabama or something.
Got a prediction right here from G Money. LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia is the top 4.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
somebody confirm what you stated, bro.
Mhm.
Thanks for the shout out, bro.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Can you play some defense? Jalen Hurts is asking, can we please play a little defense? I'm trying to win the 3rd Heisman for this team.
It's gonna be hard because Joe Burrows is putting up numbers, bro. It's gonna be real hard.
Joe Burrows is putting up numbers, but have you actually seen the numbers that Jalen's putting up this year? Let me educate y'all a little bit.
Go for it.
Jalen Hurts has 2,742 yards passing, 24 TDs, and only 4 interceptions for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Completing is 73% of his passes. And then you got to add on 869 yards rushing. He's the leading rusher for Oklahoma this year. And 15 more TDs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I understand Joe Burrows is throwing for 3,000 yards. He ain't doing what Jalen Hurts is doing.
Right.
That's why it's going to be very interesting when in the offseason in the NFL. When he decides to turn, well, I think he's going to get picked up. I think he'd be a pleasant surprise.
I think Jalen has made himself a 3rd to 5th round draft pick that a team will pick him up to be a project. And I think he'll work, and he'll be one of them players that will beat out a lot of guys that they didn't think he could beat out and eventually be a decent NFL pro. But can he get some defense, please? Oklahoma, just play a little defense.
Yeah.
Baylor. Do y'all realize Baylor's still undefeated?
Yep.
Yeah.
Baylor? I mean, I thought they was going to get the death row penalty after all that sexual assault stuff that's going on down there. I mean, they're playing some decent football.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Oklahoma, Baylor, coming up this weekend.
Should be a good game.
That's the game for the Big 12, I think. The winner of that takes complete control, and only one of those 2 teams has even a chance to make the college football playoff. Anybody else wins the Big 12, Big 12's out.
Right.
Pac-12 looks like you're going to have a collision. The 2 teams, Oregon, Utah, the winner of that Pac-12. Do they get in over a 1-loss Bama?
No.
I don't think so.
No way.
It's hard to say.
Strength of schedule.
Right.
That's hands down.
Biggest game in college this weekend is going to be Georgia and Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
My baby girl says she wants Auburn to kick Georgia's behind. Not only she's got a little bias, and for her to root for Auburn, but she wants Auburn to keep winning so that when Bama plays them and Bama puts it on them, that it looks better. I think Georgia going to get that, though, so we'll see. We'll see. And a game that kind of always interests me is seeing Notre Dame play Navy.
Navy always play them tough.
I don't know about y'all, but seeing Navy play just to me makes me feel good. They're undersized, undermanned, but they play so hard
all the time.
Army strong.
I hear you.
Army
I
strong.
hear you.
Soldier for life.
Yeah, that game coming soon.
Represent.
But you gotta give props to props due. And the Black Knights, they've been playing ball the last few years, so I gotta give props. That is the best football game of the year, Army Navy each year. But I hear you.
Army strong.
I hear you, Sergeant. I hear you, Sarge. So have you had any chance to check out any NBA in the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, I saw a couple games. Boston. I'm liking what they're doing. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned I like the moves they made. I'm really high on them right now.
Once they got rid of Kyrie, they were back to the team that they were before he came back to their team. I'm telling you that he was the piece that was messing their nucleus up.
He was supposed to be the piece to fix the problem, and he ended up being the problem.
Exactly. Yeah, he was the problem.
The issue is they lose Gordon Hayward again.
I know.
He broke his left hand. I think they said he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, he can't catch a break.
He can't catch a break, but Boston is still good without him. They proved that even when he's not on the court, they still can go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's not like, I mean, yes, it's a major disaster. However,
he was playing good ball too.
Yeah, he was finally starting to look back like himself. So hopefully that hand won't slow him down. Yeah. I got to give props to Toronto. You lose your best player after winning your first and only title. A lot of teams wrote them off. They playing with swagger like, look, we still the champions. We don't care if Kawhi here or not. And they playing ball. They look real good.
When you got confidence, it doesn't matter who's out on the field. As long as you play as a team, you still can win a game.
The Greek Freak is putting up crazy numbers.
Ooh,
crazy numbers.
And shooting threes.
Crazy numbers. I mean, he's averaging almost 30, 14, and 7. And as you said, he's extended his range of shooting threes. That's scary. Yeah. That's scary. Miami, the Jimmy Butler pickup was nice, but them young boys are playing good ball. So, I mean, it's a lot of good things going on in the East, and the Sixers, I mean, they got the best talent, so they're going to be a factor when it all comes down to it.
Yeah, I agree. They got too much talent not to be there.
Finally, the East is going to represent, because I'm about tired of the West Coast dominating the league.
The West Side
is still dominant, though.
Yeah, they real
but
dominant.
We at least got some sparks to even consider now.
Yeah.
I mean, woo, the West is loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded. But the surprise in the West, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix is 1 game behind the lead in the West.
Without DeAndre Ayton.
And that's a team we very rarely talk about. Phoenix.
Another example, get a good coach that figures out his personnel and how to work with them and let them do what they do best. And the sneaky pickup, Ricky Rubio, it's like 3rd in the league in assists, scoring almost 18 points a game, and is allowing Devin Booker to not handle the ball as much and just be a killer and score. I mean, Phoenix is doing some things.
He's not getting burnt out as the years past because he was doing it all for them.
I mean, of course, you got the Lakers and the Clippers. Everybody know at the end of the year they're going to be there.
They're going to be there.
Houston, I mean,
they can't play no defense.
I don't think they want to play defense.
Well, they're going to go home. They're going to go home early.
The coach lets them get away with it.
Yeah.
And James Harden, what he's doing, scoring is just stupid. Stupid. And your boy is still, Westbrook is still almost averaging a triple-double. With Harden scoring almost 37 points a game. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Amazing,
The West is crazy. The West is crazy. Hats out to Andre Drummond. He may not get a lot of pub through the year. That man is doing work. Anybody that's averaging 18 boards a game is doing work each and every night.
Both sides of the court.
Yep.
Doing work. So that's your weekly NBA update. We hot and heavy in football season. Will be that way until probably early December, but we're going to keep you updated on the NBA. Now it's time for our favorite segment of the week, the local high school football report. What you got for me, J3?
Sure. Number 5, St. Francis Academy of Baltimore is 10-1. Shuts out Life Christian Academy of Chester, Virginia, 35-0.
Shut them out.
Next, we got St. John's, who's ranked number 1 in the Washington Post at 6-4, beats number 1 Gonzaga, who was 8-2, 32-28.
Gonzaga was up in that game until the middle of the third quarter. St. John's came back. And after the tough, St. John's traveled all around the country early on playing some of these big teams like Mater Dei and all that. That's how they got so many losses. But they swept the WCAC. They beat everybody in the WCAC.
Oh, wow. All right, next we got number 4, DeMatha, who beats McNamara 26-14. DeMatha plays St. John's this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Next, we got number 2, Gonzaga. They play Good Counsel this Friday at 7 p.m. It's a rematch of the 5 overtime thriller last month.
Yeah, that should be a good game. The WCAC playoffs again. You got DeMatha against St. John's, Gonzaga and Good Counsel, and then the following week you'll have the championship for the Turkey Bowl. So that's cool.
And then the last team we want to talk about is number 9, Georgetown Prep, who's 8-2 on their 7th win in a row against Bullis 22-16.
Shout out to the Little Hoyas of Georgetown Prep. Way to go, 7 in a row, win your 2nd straight IAC championship. And hats off and special congratulations to my godson, Miles Kelly, and your teammates. Great job. I know we're not supposed to play any difference, but when family does good, you got to let them know.
Got to shout them out. Yes, sir.
Over the weekend, there was some good boxing on. The Little Monster, Inoue, unified his title, beating Nonito Donaire. Bantamweight title, tough fought fight. I mean, Inoue had gash over his eye. Found out after he had a broken nose, fractured orbital bone, and still won a tough decision. Wow. Devin Haney, the youngest current full champion out there throughout boxing, is only 20 years old. He had his first defense of his WBC 135-pound lightweight title with a unanimous decision, shutout over Alfredo Santiago. I mean, that wasn't even a fair fight. Billy Joel Sanders made his U.S. debut, retains his 168-pound super middleweight title, stopping Marcelo Esteban Caracas in the 11th round of TKO. And for the fight of the weekend, the fighting Marine Jamel Herring outpoints Lamont Roach Jr. of D.C., winning unanimous decision for the junior lightweight title over in Veterans Day. I mean, that was a big fight. And what was even more special about that, Herring over the last week did a bunch of interviews talking about PTSD and what combat veterans have to deal with coming back. So, I mean, hats off to him.
Yes,
yes.
Another shout out to Lewis Hamilton. Y'all may not know of him. Lewis Hamilton is an African-American out of Great Britain, won his 6th Formula One championship with a 2nd place finish in the U.S. Grand Prix. He's only one behind the all-time leader, Michael Schumacher. Every time Hamilton gets on the track, he's breaking records. And last but not least, Washington Capitals continue to lead the NHL. Shout out to the Caps. We're going to get into more NHL hockey sometime after the new year.
Rocking the red.
Time for our final post. J3, what you got for me?
Want to say a special happy birthday to Big Reg. Today is his birthday. My man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Glad to be here with y'all.
Oh, my bad. Also want to give a shout out to Metropolitan Gentlemen for the bowling tournament that we had down in Norfolk. Everybody had some good scores.
Glad. Hope you did well, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Big Al.
Oh, on my way in, I've heard on the NFL network, the NFL is reportedly arranging a private workout for Colin Kaepernick to practice and interview with teams.
What?
So be on the lookout for that.
I ain't gonna hold my breath.
Keep hope alive, man.
My final post, I'd like to say thank you to all the friends, family members that reached out to me, wishing me a happy birthday. I really appreciate that. It's good to spend another year on the planet. Thank y'all. And for all your brothers and sisters out there to help push us to doing this show, really appreciate y'all. We'd like to thank y'all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate your time and the opportunity to share our position on sports with you. Please tune in next Tuesday or check out the show or download the show via Mixcloud, Facebook, or on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram at Positions on Sports. Please tell your friends and family and social media network contacts about our show. We appreciate and trying to continue to grow. Have a great evening. Have a wonderful week. This has been the Position on Sports talk show on the Worldwide Flavor Network. Please stay tuned for Overtime featuring Miss Color Beauty up next. Peace.
Deuces.
Good night.
yeah,